Here we are, Dan. We're back. Today at the races, Laurel Park, Saturday, Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash Day. 5 stakes. I'm Keith Fustel. This is Today at the Races. Dan Oman from the Daily Racing Form with me here today. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. The marketing department really hit the nail on the head. This is Saturday Summer Sizzlers.
Yes.
And it's a sizzler here at Laurel Park.
Did you ever used to go to the Sizzler? Did you have any
I
Sizzler
love the
steaks
Sizzler.
houses back in the
steak,
day?
Little baked potato.
Yes. They're in the back in the day. I don't know if any Sizzlers are still around, but spent many a night at the Sizzler. Honey, put away the pots and the pans. Ernie Clark would say, we're going to the Sizzler after a big hit at the track. Used to love that. He'd be hanging out in the press box. But, yeah, we got a great card on tap. $500,000 in purses. There you go. There's the lineup. Headlined by the Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash at $150,000. Track conditions, hey, yeah, it's going to be warm out there, no doubt about it. We're taking all the necessary precautions to get through this Saturday stakes-filled card. Main track is fast, and the turf course labeled good right now. We had some rain in the area. I was over at Timonium at the OTB yesterday, left about 7 o'clock, and the sky's just open. Don't know what they quite got here, but we're going to trust. And our guys have done a great job on this turf course and the main track of late. So main track fast, turf good. First post, 12:10. We moved it up a little bit, so get your bets in early. We're going to get cracking right now, right to the first race. I'm just going to tee it up and put Dan on the tee. Let them go. First race, mile 16th. 3-year-olds and up. This is a starter. We got some scratches. Scratch the 2, 3, 8, 9 on the turf at a mile and a 16th.
U.S. Constitution is a horse that I thought was getting really good towards the fall of 2021, and I did a lot of chasing, and boy, did he disappoint me. But maybe what he needed was a little bit of a layoff, and he needed to be gelded because in his 2 races since he's returned this year, he's been pretty good. He got wired by Gunslinger 2 starts back. He probably needed the race. I thought his last race was really, really good. He set a pretty pressured pace from in between horses. One of the horses he was battling with was the favorite, King's Honor. That horse finished last, and this horse kept right on going. I think he's going to sit a good trip off a Gunslinger in here.
That was the key. Off a little bit of a break. Gelded. I think that was second time gelding, first time gelding on the turf. That was an angle, and you got rewarded there at 16-1. Really, really big price. Now, you're looking at the flow of this race. My top selection is going to be Gunslinger. He beat U.S. Constitution a couple races back. Got caught in a very extended duel last time out. Broke a little funky, a little head toss, and he rushed up. If he clears, I think he's got a shot, but everything kind of relies on the break and that opening quarter of a mile. But he has bounced back, Dan, off of poor races when he's been chewed up in those duels.
Take his last race with several grains of salt because, as you mentioned, that was just a ridiculous speed duel he was involved in. Draw a line through that race, and other than that, they're nothing but good, solid performances. I think he's going to break. I think he's going to make the lead, and I think it's key for my top selection to be sitting just off your top selection.
I think, and with the scratch of, what was it, the aesthetically out, these two, if they don't get too crazy, they could take them a long way, I believe, up front. Looking for a closer, I'm going to throw the 6 Brilliant Chase in. You like the 10 Certer, as I do as well. I'm going to throw that one in. Been hampered by some wide trips.
Not only a wide trip last time out where he was 3 and 4 wide, but a very slow pace. I think maybe this pace will be a little bit fairer for him. I expect him to close at a price.
Okay, let's take a look at race 2. We're going to turn to race 2. Beaten Claimer, 16 down to 12-5. 3-year-olds and up, never won 3 or 3-year-olds. Yeah, we got this early pick for. Standard ticket. It's going to be a cheap one, $15 to get you started. A couple scratches in race 2, take out the 1 sponsored, then the 5 Carbonite. I go 2-4 in there. 3-4. Street Hustle, going to be your favorite. Shack in the Box. We'll see back in the barn at Damon Delvico. See if he can bounce back a little freshening for that one. Race 3, I single a 5, Uncaptured Storm. A horse that's 1-4 and basically a 3 in life. Spread in race number 4. 1-3-4, 5-6. That gets us started with the stakes action and Miss Disco Stakes. Looking forward to seeing Malibu Moonshine return here to Maryland. And race 5, wrap it up with the 2, 3, and 4. I think, scratch the 7 and 8 out of the start of NASCAR. I think Dan and I will talk about Super Accelerate. This one might be the now kind of horse right now for Robin Graham. Let's take a look at race 2.
And we have a video, don't we?
Yeah,
Street Hustle's last race. He was the favorite, and boy, Street Hustle didn't break very well. Take a look at him on the outside. He just misses it. Now, he was expected to be on the lead. When you break 5 lengths slow, We figure, okay, just throw it out. He's going to lope around there and not do much. But at the end of the day, Street also makes this big wide move on the turn. He gets into contention. He's moving in a second right now. The winner of this race, B West, is just a pretty good horse that got loose on the lead. If Street Hustle breaks in this race, he's going to the top.
Yeah, B West just had to deal with that long shot and just took care of that one. But Street Hustle, after that break, you're thinking, okay, there's no shot. He made a valiant run around the turn and kept on willingly there through the last eighth of him. I'll switch over that correctly. Drops him right back in for the 16. Interesting. This is a barn that's been going very well. Yeah, I agree with you. I like Street Hustle. You got somebody else on top of that. You're going to Shack in the Box a little better price.
I think it's a very good sign that Damon claimed this horse back after only one start out of the barn. And a little DRF formulator fact, Damon's 7 for the last 18 with a 296 ROI off the claim on dirt. I thought this horse ran pretty well last time out where he saved ground, galloped out pretty well. And the key is, can he stay relatively close to the pace and maybe finish with a flourish? I like that they freshened him up. Damon does well off layoffs.
Yeah, interesting horse. We both got the 6 in here. Island Delay. Island Delay also ran on July 9th, what we thought was a pretty good speed day as well. He just got away with it so soft on the front end. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it away with it. That he's improving. He looks like he can prompt, but man, if Street Hustle breaks, it could be tough for him trying to chase that pace this afternoon. Dan, 4-3-6-2. I'm 3-4-2-6 in race number 2. We're turning to the third. Third race, scratch the 4, Hop and Scotch. We'll go to a little stat here. Talk about your little price play here in Pulsar.
Pulsar is a horse that's coming into this race off a last out win. He's returning on dirt. And this barn may not be familiar with this barn. They're shipping in from out of town. But take a look at these numbers. 30% winners, a $3.50 ROI. And Pulsar has sneaky speed. He's tactical. There's not a lot of pace in this race. I think they're going to try to get forward here.
We saw him get it done at Pimlico, breaking the maiden back in late May. Took pressure, widened, kicked away, and held firm to the wire. Certainly the breeding suggests, hey, it's well within the realm here to get the mile distance. This is the 10,000 claimers for the 3 in life, or the 3-year-olds now, winners of 3, and that's the key here for my top selection to Uncaptured Storm. Just throw a line through that race on the turf, 2 back. His other races prior, sandwiched, right outside. They're really, really good. Some trouble at Charlestown against a much better group. I think he just kind of sits the trip in here at a shorter price, lays inside, and kind of makes that move through
the stretch. And not is he the only 4-time winner in the field, but last time out, you mentioned that race, he was the only 3-year-old in that field. The winner of that race has won 12 times Midnight Act, so this is a substantial drop in class. And he looked like he had that race won after he split horses in upper stretch, and Midnight Act just battled back and got him. This is a great spot for Uncaptured Storm. He's way the horse to beat. Maybe I'll take a slight stab against him with a number 1 Salty Air. This horse faced 3 next out winners in his most recent start at Delaware. One of those horses came back to win with a 68 Buyer's speed figure. He was outside. He tried to get into it. The pace held up. I think he might be a little bit better than he looks. He just has to prove it on this circuit.
That's the key. That's the key. You might have had a little bit of a, confidence boost at Delaware. I moved up. I still think he's going to have to move up a little bit more against these. But, you're looking for that price, and Dan can bring a price. He's got the one here, 1-5-8-9. We agree, the 5, clearly the horse to beat.
No doubt.
Going to be in that 3 to 5 range, I would say, when it's all said and done. I go 5-8-1-3. Turning to the 4th. What do we got here in the 4th race? The Miss Disco Stakes. Our stakes action gets started here in the 4th. Dan, Precious Avery, you've got on top. You want to talk about Precious Avery, and then we'll get to my top selection, Malibu Moonshine.
Yeah, let's talk about Precious Avery a little bit. Interesting spot here for this New Jersey bred who's really picked up her game in the last 3 starts. She's winning sprinting on dirt. She's winning going long on turf, and she's got that sort of tactical speed. I just think she's getting good at the right time right now, and maybe you're catching the favorite off a layoff. We all know how good Malibu Moonshine is. She was named champion Maryland bred 2-year-old filly last year, but she's coming off an extended layoff, and sometimes she doesn't break.
Yeah, that is the key. She's had some issues out of the gate. We've got a video from that race on December the 30th in the Gin Talking. 7/8 of a mile, as is the distance today on the main track. Dan, I'll let you talk about this trip.
Yeah, Malibu Moonshine, again, just didn't break great from the inside post, but look at the professionalism for such a lightly raced 2-year-old filly. She saves ground. Angel Cruz shows a lot of confidence. She remains inside, and she just bursts through at the end of this race. She really loves 7 furlongs, and that could be key.
You think the flow is going to be to her liking as well? You're looking at this race with a horse like Precious Avery. She's shown speed main track. Liquidator I mean, she's really done nothing wrong of late. She knows how to win. I think the pace should be fairly honest. I expect with some maturity, some improvement in Malibu Moonshine. I'm not going to be scared off the break here for this one. She's really impressed me visually, and I read nobody does better work. And Dan is just super in depth. Read your reports on some of these races today. I think you might have talked to Charlton Baker. I mean, the report was good for Malibu Moonshine.
Yeah, he said that he gave her a break after the Ruthless, a race where she ran into a Chad Brown train runner. They're in a big race at Keeneland in a graded stakes race. So this is a huge drop in class. He said he gave her the break by design. She seems a lot more relaxed since she's come back, working a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, so I think she's going to come back a little bit more mature, a little bit of a short price, but she's the best horse in the race on paper.
Agreed. And Charlton Baker, when he ships here, 4 for 4 the last couple of years. Now 3 of those wins, Malibu Moonshine, and got it done with glass ceiling in the Fritchie. You even go further back. He's like 70 or 80% here. Doesn't run a ton, but it's strong.
10 for the last 30 with dirt horses off layoffs between 6 months and a year. Not bad.
That's pretty good. I'm going to throw Fast Track into the mix. Throw out the last race in the Delaware Oaks. That's just too tough of a task. Really like the way she ran at Pimlico. I thought she would take the initiative there. Got to lead. Went fast early, a little leg weary late. But his run right there with Malibu Moonshine on the go back. Had some trouble in those races. I think she's an improving type here. I think 7/8 is going to work. She'll be able to slide into position with a cleaner break into that far turn.
Yeah, I think she has a good chance in this race. She was really aggressively handled in that race 2 starts back. She has shown the ability to win going 7. She has some class and some potential. Talk to the judge as a potential upsetter for me. I think she's going to show a lot more speed this time around. She's already beaten my top pick, Precious Avery, and I like the turf to dirt move here.
I like that move too, and you're going to get a price. Yeah, I truly believe you'll get something 5-6 to 1 on Talk to the Judge. Good race there, the Miss Disco Stakes, heading to the fifth race. Starts out the Rainbow Pick 6. I think we'll have a ticket later, right? Callie might throw something up. Got a carryover, 3,961. That's not chump change. I'll take a shot. I could use 3,961 the way my daughter's going through money over in Amsterdam right now. It's I'm going to need all the help I can get, so we might have to hit this pick 6. The Start in Asker Stakes. Registered Maryland bred, Maryland sired. Scratch the 7, parking it, scratch the 8, Great Heavens, 7/8 on the main track. We both got Super Accelerate on top at an 8 to 1 morning line. Probably will come down a little bit due to the scratches. Let's look at that most recent video.
Yeah, he ran really well in this race. We see him just coasting in behind horses. You see Freeze the Fire, who's also in here. Freeze the Fire also ran very well because he took on multiple challenges while on the lead and still held well for a piece. But Super Accelerate's just steamrolling them in the stretch, and I just think his confidence is sky high right now. A 93 Beyer speed figure. Robin Graham has trained some very good horses over the years, a very underrated trainer here on this circuit. She expects Super Accelerate to run well today, and so do I.
Ran really well. Put it all together the last couple. Took that major step up with a 93 Beyer last time out. Was very comfortable tracking that pace. Got a little help, but man, just went through professionally. And this is a horse that took play in debut. They like this horse all along, and it's finally working out right now for Super Accelerate. I do like that one from off the pace because I think it's going to be honest here. Coffee with Chris, Freeze the Fire, very quick, who you saw in that video. We'll battle. I think it's Viper Sneaky turning back in distance off of that 1/16 short field at Monmouth. This horse can unleash the fury sometimes with some runs. 7/8. I think if that flow is hot, we're seeing 22:45 and some change. It's Viper comes running.
Well, that's really the key. It's all about pace. I was talking to Brittany a little bit earlier on, and that's what she says. It's basically all about pace, turning him back in distance. Easy Action's a little bit interesting, shipping in for trainer Norm Cassie as a first-time gelding. He chased Rivet last time out. Now, while Rivet didn't really fire in his most recent start yesterday in the Amsterdam, he came out of his win over Easy Action. What did he win? 3 in a row, including a big stakes race on Preakness Day.
Yeah, so I think you got to use Norm Cassie. Does not ship much at all. I forgot to go back. Has he ever run a horse here?
I'm not even sure.
We'll check that out, maybe have that for you later, but definitely respect the barn of freshening and hit the right kind of horses down at Oak Lawn Park. Anybody else you want to touch upon?
We got to talk about Coffee with Chris. He was our Preakness entrant for representing the great state of Maryland, and this is what he wants to do. I think this distance is good for him. I think he's going to be aggressively ridden from the start, and we all know that he has the class and guts to win this race. I just wonder if we've seen his best already, and maybe we haven't seen the best of horses like Freeze the Fire, Super Accelerate, Easy Action.
Exactly. Easy Action reported. First time gelding today off the break. Okay, that's going to do it for the first 5. We're going to take a little commercial break and come back and take a look at the late pick 5. Dan's going to have a ticket for you.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
All right, we're back. Race 6, starting the late pick 5. Well, first, we're going to touch upon the Jackpot Super High 5. We've got that offered every day in race 6 when there's 7 or more betting interests right there. Dollar minimum play, 15% takeout. Take advantage of that. In race 6, scratch the 1, Summer Silence, the 2, Northern TikTok, the 5B Major, MTO Hellman, the 7 is out. Let's take a look at this late pick 5 ticket Dan has put together for us.
I'm not sure I really love the construction of this ticket,
Okay.
but I decided to take a chance at the end of the day by singling good old Wonder Where Craig is. A complete audible from
Okay.
where I stood on Wednesday night when I looked at the PPs, Thursday night when I looked at the PPs, and even yesterday. I just have a feeling he's going to fire his good shot today, and I don't want to play both the two favorites in that race, Lightning Larry and Wonder Where Craig is. It's a gambling game. I'm gambling on Wonder Where Craig is. We'll start things off 3 deep. I'll go the 8, 11, and your favorite horse of all time, the number 12, Mr. Shades of Grey. You'd be very disappointed if I didn't have him on the ticket.
Yes.
Nimitz Class is a potential single in this race. I think a lot of folks are going to single in race number 7. I wonder if Yodel Ihehu has found a new lease on life going 2 turns. I'll use him as well.
Okay.
2, 4, 8 in the 8th, and
All
in the
right.
finale, 2, 4, 6, the 4 Dangerous on the lead.
Yeah, I thought, Indian Stunt definitely going to take them a long way there in the nightcap. I'm around Star Shopping. Is there? You lift that one. Kind of a little questionable drop here, I guess, for Star Shopping. I had a little adversity last time. Thought he might get going. He just didn't. So 2, 4, 6 to end it there for Dan. So let's take a look at race 6. Again, scratch the 1, 2, 5, and 7. 1 mile and an eighth on the grass. A little beaten claimer here. What you got?
I like Bonded in here, and I like the fact that in his turf debut last time out, he showed improved speed. I think it's a sign that the horse liked the turf, and the horse is feeling good right now. He pushed the even money favorite that day from the outside. He kind of tried to herd another horse in on the backstretch, was worrying about that horse, wound up floated 3 wide and then tired. Little class relief here. He's proven from just off the pace. I think he sits a good trip.
Yeah, I think he's going to get position. A couple of these horses, that I thought were going to be forward are now out of the race. So that leaves him in a good spot on it or just off it to make that move. Definitely faced a little bit better out of that double key last time out. And Mr. Shades of Grey, we talked about, I'll go ahead. He draws in, so make sure that he does draw in here in race 6 for Grand Motion. I like the fact they're going to let him rock and roll here. He's just a horse that's really tough to ride, it looks like, Dan. When you watch some of the trips that he gets real eager and get a little bit rank, stirred up early. Then he'll settle and make some moves, a little flattening. But I think the company that he's kept has just been consistently a little bit better than this group. I mean, he can just relax, gets that outer post draw, last in maybe towards one of the last ones, and if he gets through the first quarter without any real adversity, I think he can settle, make a move, and get by these horses.
You described him perfectly because he's a problem child.
Yep.
He's going to act up behind the gate. He's going to give you a fit. He's going to give the gate crew a fit going into the gate. But his 2 races this form cycle I think are a little bit better than they look, and he's getting the class drop. He did not have a good trip in that race at Monmouth off the bench, and last time out he got wired on a very slow pace. And he's the kind of horse that just needs to find a rhythm and come with a late run, and he'll be running late here.
Yeah, he is. Oh, boy, he teased me a lot of times, that guy right there. Reconvene.
Yeah.
Number sticks out off the last. You think it's a touch inflated?
I'm not sure if it's a touch inflated because if you go back to his races around this time of year in 2022, he's popping 77 and 86s at Monmouth. I just think Chucky Lawrence has gotten him back into form, and he's racing himself back into shape. This is his 4th start of 2023. He was in against a tough Keeneland shipper in that stakes race at Colonial last time out. Lasix back on here just seems like a good fit at this level.
And you see him running against Certere, only a couple lengths behind that one. We've seen proven we're going to see here today in a starter type. So that keys up well for me. Lasix going back on for the 11 Reconvene. We turn to the 7th, the Deputed Testimony Stakes, $100,000 guaranteed at 1 mile and an eighth. Scratch the 4, Wish for Peace. The 6, Mischief Afoot. And the 7, Ride with Biden. A lot of eyes going to be on Nimitz Class to 3 for Bruce Kravitz.
Hasn't he just blossomed into one of the best handicap horses on this circuit? We have a replay from his last race. They stepped him up into graded competition in the Salvatore Mile, and while he had a multi-race and multi-month win streak snapped, he really lost nothing in defeat because he was all in on the backstretch, battling with several horses, and he is going to stay on to finish a game second to the favorite in here. The third place horse, Trademark, is a real nice one. He came back to win his very next start, a stakes race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and with all the scratches, he might be loose on the lead.
Exactly. I mean, I thought Riding with Biden would maybe go ahead and try to send and take the initiative in here. Now, Nimitz Class, we've seen him get to the front. He's as sharp as he is against this type before. You're right, with a clean break, Toledo might just say, let's go ahead and go. Let's control this thing and take them wire to wire. And Be Better is on serious improve right now for Brittany Russell. Was bet down. I didn't see that kind of race visually coming from Be Better last time out. That was super strong.
He's one of those Rapoli horses that always had potential as a 2-year-old. And when Todd Pletcher had him, he ran him in some tough spots, and he just never really found his way. He is a big horse, I think, that's going to appreciate this distance, and he just has improved with maturity. His last 2 races are very good, and I think Sheldon Russell's going to get him out of the gate and get him in a comfortable position, not letting Nimitz Class get too far away.
Right, and you got a price shot here. I mean, Yodel AEO, I think you're going to get the way Nimitz Class is going to get that down, would you take 6 to 1?
I would take 6 to 1, but I'm not sure I would take much less because this is just a new thing for him completely, stretching out. For most of his career, we knew Yodeli Hehu as a nice late-running sprinter.
Yes.
And in his last couple of races, they've stretched him out, and he's run quite well, including that last race, a race where he made a kind of early move for him on the turn 4 wide to get into contention, and I was pleasantly surprised that he kept right on rolling along. The race turned a good figure. Now, maybe there's no pace for him here. I'm hoping for kind of a bunched-up field. It turns into a sprint for home, and I know he can kick.
No doubt. The last race surprised me as well. He kept on, hooked a horse that, maybe had the advantage up front. But he was determined, got the lead, and dug in to hold sway late. 5-3-1-2 for Dan in the Deputed Testimony Stakes. Turn the page, the race 8, the Alma North, $100,000 guaranteed at 6.5 furlongs. Scratch the 1, Street Loot, the 3, Sweet Gracie, the 5, Princess Kokachin, and the 9, Moody Woman. I guess Begin will probably be the favorite, right? I guess she's going to be an awfully short price in here. We'll check a video of her race 2 races back.
This was Beguine's seasonal debut off a 5-month layoff. She showed no rust. It didn't hurt that this was a wet track that she loves, but she just destroys this field of first-level allowance runners at Belmont. Ned Allard liked this race so much that he took a shot in the Grade 2 Bed of Roses, and he faced Goodnight Olive, a Breeders' Cup, the reigning Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint winner. There are no Goodnight Olives in this good field. Beguine looks like the main speed in this race, and she looks like the horse to catch and beat.
You're thinking a little bit like me there. There's Hammy Smith lurking. Response time, third off a little bit of a break with an excuse last time out. The home track advantage, possibly. Do you think we can get a little bit of an upset here with response time? She's got to break. She better break.
Well, she has to break because she didn't last time out, and then she rushed up to push Princess Kokachin through a moderate pace, and that just helps Princess Kokachin when she's on a hard chase. Response time, she got tired there. It's going to be her third start off of a short break. We know that she has races over this track, as you mentioned, fast enough to win here. She's one of those horses. Watch her in the paddock. She comes out, and she wears one of those, I think they call it a blowout patch on her inside hock. Maybe they sort of rubs together. I rarely see horses run well with that sort of equipment. She has. She's going to get close to the pace. If Beguine doesn't fire, she might be in front turning for home.
Absolutely. She's really, really quick. And if Beguine misses just the break a little bit, I mean, I got to think Barbosa. We've seen he can be aggressive. He'll know the race and to ride, and he'll do it. I take a little shot here. Gunning's a horse over at Pimlico. I liked her that day. And she came in here, and she just never really got comfortable going. She was caught in between horses. I thought she had enough flow. I thought she'd run into it, and she didn't. Now she's back.
I talked to Kenny McPeak. He was just disappointed the way the race came out and that she was sort of in between horses and the trip didn't work out. He said she came out of that race okay. Fans are going to love her because she's the older half-sister to Mage, who won the Kentucky Derby. And by the way, Mage's full little brother, Dornoch, runs at Saratoga in a debut, and supposedly the word's out.
Okay. We'll tab the toad on that one. But, yeah, Gunning, she's still got to run a little bit faster than what she has. But, you know.
And she needs pace.
Yeah, and she's going to get it. If these two break, the 2 and the 8 break, I think they're going to get involved around the turn, which could set it up for Gunning. Here we go, the feature. Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash, $150,000 guaranteed at 6 furlongs on the main track. Scratch the one. Lad Needs a Handler, the 3 Synthesis. See some really good horses win this race.
We have, and one of my favorites was the inaugural winner, the Maryland-bred Northern Wolf. You remember him? He was a real nice horse, but there have been some very good horses to win it in the past, and maybe the third time's the charm for Wonder Where Craig is.
He's just a tough DQ. A couple years back in 21, last time out, a good effort. He's got a little help with a scratch of the one to the inside, which might brought a little speed to the table. Dan, you said you kind of were waffling back and forth. You land with this one on top.
I originally went with the 6 Lightning Larry. He's been in exceptional form. He's just going to sit a good trip in this race, sitting maybe third off the speeds with first run. But at the end of the day, I went back to Wonder Where Craig's races this form cycle, and I know he was maligned a little bit. Oh, he's supposed to win big off the bench. Well, no, he's also getting Albleton up there, and he was very game to beat a nice horse in Whitty. In the Maryland Sprint, it was just way too tough a spot for him. Straight Mo Chaser is one of the best sprinters in the country. Unfortunately, he got hurt after that race, and Wonder Where Craig has showed good speed to sit close. He tired. He's gotten a freshening. Brittany wouldn't have him here if she didn't think he was going to fire. The question is, can he shake clear of Sir Wellington, who does have speed?
Yeah, Wonder Where Craig is. I mean, if he really wants to go, I think might be a touch faster.
That's my hope.
Yeah, I think if he breaks sharp enough, I do. I think he's a little bit fast. Does he survive the battle? Does he win the war here? Because lurking is going to be Lightning Larry.
And Lightning Larry, again, his last few races have been sensational. His last race at Delaware Park was very, very good. And we just have him sitting off of Sir Wellington in here. The pace wasn't very fast, so advantage Sir Wellington actually in this spot. Lightning Larry was on a hard chase. And listen, Lightning Larry just ran right by Sir Wellington. If you think a 2-pound weight shift's going to help Sir Wellington, maybe. Yeah. I just thought this race, Lightning Larry just showed his superiority.
Agreed. I mean, he was very comfortable through the wire, picked it up. It looked like he had more. I mean, he just was going very nicely. Going to get a little target here with these two up front, we would think, if they break. Lightning Larry doesn't need his track. He can go anywhere. He can go anywhere. He's won on multiple surfaces.
Are you a weight guy? I'm getting 6 pounds from Lightning Larry.
I'm not a huge weight guy, but that could be. Looking at these two, it could definitely make a little bit of a difference. Absolutely. Delgado won yesterday, right, up in New York? Was that New York Thunder?
He certainly did. That horse was a sizzler, all right.
What an effort right to the front and got it done. You're 2.647. I'm 6'2", 4 and 5, and let's head to the last 10th race. I thought this was a tough little race here. 5.5 on the grass. The beaten claimers 16 down to 12.5. 5.5. You're going to go with inside stunt for a trainer, Philip Tolman?
I think so.
Okay.
I believe he's a farrier, and he's done some really good work. He's a horseman. He knows what he's doing.
Sure.
And inside stunt has got speed. And that, to me, is the main issue in this race. I think he's going to go to the front. In his last race, I really didn't see much of an excuse. I mean, he battled with a 77-1 shot that really didn't have much of a chance, and then he got tired in the stretch. But he faced 2 next-out winners. The horse that won that race came back and earned a 74 Buyer's speed figure when placing. I think he's going to get to the lead, and we'll see how far he takes him.
Yeah, inside stunt. I think he's going to battle you every step of the way, and he looks like, Love You Bye-Bye out. That's going to take him a little bit further, if not right to the winner's circle. I'll go with Star Shopping. A little bit of this is not really my move. He was just dead flat after that trouble top of the stretch last time. I expect him to recover and get going because he's been game in this race. He's been trying really hard. Gets a little relief here today.
He does. I think he was just in a little bit too tough in his last 2 races. And as you mentioned, the trouble last time out, he run badly 2 starts back. He fits at this level. Just a lot of minor awards on his page.
Yeah, Claudie Boy looked really good last time. I mean, softer opening quarter half, but rolled home. I ain't calling that chart. Mile drive. I don't throw that out too often. There's another one. I mean, I think it's definitely on the improve.
I wonder if Stimulus Maker can sprint, because if he can, he's going to kick on hard in the stretch. He faced 3 next-out winners last time out. The problem is that was early May, 2 vet scratches since, but another horse that fits well on the drop.
Yeah, agreed. He's dangerous if things get heated up. I think this is the right kind of move for a horse like this. Fresh, rate, make the move into it. That's your card. Love it.
That's a good one.
We're gonna no lightning round today, but we're gonna touch upon your best bet and value play. What do you have for us?
Let's take a look at my best bet. It's Super Accelerate. I think he's going to be a decent price in here. He's going to have to overcome some nice horses stepping up in class, but I love the way he finished. He'll be a decent price too.
Absolutely love the trip. This horse is the now horse to me. Visually, he was super impressive. I'm not worried about this next step. Value response time.
He was a value play, and then you gave him out.
Gave him out, but unfortunately, we we had some scratches in there as well. But we're going to see if she can kind of dog or take take control of that race, maybe around mid-turn from Begin and get it done.
She's the third choice in that race.
Yeah, she should be. Yeah, I think can we get we might get 7-2-4 on her because I think they're all going to come in on Begin. That's it, Dan. I appreciate it. That's the card for today. Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash Stakes is our highlight. 5 stakes totaling $500,000. We've got tacos and tequila. Hopefully you can make it out. No, we're going to deal with this heat today. We've got all the precautions necessary in place. Let's go to Dave Rodman for some scratches and changes.